In 2010, something really unusual happened in Yellowstone. A female grizzly appeared around Swan Lake Flats with 4 new cubs. Depending on who you talk to, that's happened only 6 or 8 times in the history of the oldest national park on Earth. It isn't uncommon for Alaskan grizzly bears to have 4 cubs, but it is unusual for Yellowstone grizzlies. She immediately became known as Quad Mom. I think one of the reasons that all 4 cubs survived into that fall is that Quad Mom is a superb baby elk hunter. I've heard it said that elk mamas stash their babies when they're very young. After watching new elk moms for years, I think that process is really reversed. The babies come out to nurse and then they hide themselves. It's obviously sad to see an innocent newborn elk calf being killed and to watch how long their mama looks for it afterwards. But everyone has to eat, and there are a lot more elk than grizzly bears. Luckily, these 4 cubs learned to eat elk early. They still nursed, but I doubt all 4 of them would have survived as long as they did without the elk. Even so, one of the cubs, the runt, was about half the size of the others. It didn't really seem like the other cubs were hogging the carcasses. It just seemed like the runt had better things to do than eat. The other 3 always made sure there wasn't a scrap left. The next time we saw them was at the end of May. She was hunting in a snow flurry, but quickly disappeared. One day in early June, we got really lucky and found Quad Mom and her cubs fairly close to the road in Swan Lake Flats. Not only were they close to the road, she was nursing her cubs with her back to the crowd. The cubs peeked around with milk on their faces. Kind of made me want to get out a napkin. After that, they took off and we lost track of them for several hours. Later that evening, she started hunting for baby elk on the west side of the road. That was when I had my first red camera, the Red 1. From the time you hit the on button, it took 70 seconds for that thing to come on. That's a lifetime in the camera world, especially when you're waiting to film a grizzly bear. By the time it did come on, she had found and killed an elk calf. In the meantime, her cubs didn't know where she was. They huddled together on the hillside while, unknown to them, a boar grizzly was ambling towards them from the north. As soon as Mom killed the elk, she ran back and found her cubs and got them all calmed down. What a good mama. Luckily, the boar grizzly changed course and never appeared to know she or the cubs were even there. She took them back to her kill and they ate their fill. And then they played. That was in early June of 2010. Other people saw her that summer, but we didn't see her again until the following summer. In early June of 2011, we found she was down to 2 cubs, and had they grown. No one ever knew what happened to the other 2. She was still spending most of her time hunting baby elk, much to the dismay of the elk mamas. She and her cubs became one of the biggest attractions in the park. In 2012, she still had her now 2.5-year-old cubs. They had grown significantly and had become pretty good hunters in their own right. In 2013, she kicked those 2 cubs out, and in 2014, produced 3 new cubs. We only saw them once in early June. She lost one fairly early, but raised the other 2 and kicked them out in 2017. She had 2 new cubs in 2018 that apparently did not survive. We haven't seen Quad Mom or any of her cubs since that day in 2014. Quad Mom is probably about 26 years old now, so she's getting up there in age. Now it's the end of May in 2019. This morning, a grizzly looking a lot like Quad Mom was seen hunting baby elk near the Gardner River. I don't know whether it was Quad Mom or not, but I can hope.